Hey Cliff, we're out here, we're going to test fly your 450. So in the next part we're going to show you an instructional about what all the switches do, but out here we're going to just do a quick flight test for you. So I hope you enjoy it. So this is GPS mode right now. As you can see, it's holding its position pretty well. I've just got the stick set at a spot. Now if I put it in attitude mode, it'll start to drift away, as you can see that. The light changes and it starts to move away. I put it back in GPS mode and you'll see what it'll do. It holds itself still. So that's kind of how that works. So let's go ahead and take it out now. Alright, she accelerates really good. Very smooth. This is GPS mode again, like I say. Nice and easy, super smooth. Now we're going to go ahead and do a pass in attitude mode, which will be a little bit more sporty. Let's go ahead and we're going to put it into attitude mode here, middle stick position. I'm going to rotate it towards us. Here we go. Wow. Super smooth. Alright, let's go and bring it back in. Go ahead and put it back into GPS mode. Alright. Now, for those of you that had questions about the Failsafe feature on this controller, right here. Now look, no control over the craft, okay? I'm not doing this. Rises up 20 meters at 60 feet, okay? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna set this down. It's gonna bring itself back. It knows where it took off from via GPS location. Now what it's going to do is it's going to lower itself about 10 feet in small increments. It's going to come down. And it's going to land itself and shut off the motors so you get to see that. Now the distancing is approximate on the GPS. It could be, you know, maybe a foot this way or that, a few inches. If it's right on, it'll land on the sidewalk. Then it automatically shuts off the motors. So Cliff, as you can see, the Failsafe works awesome. It didn't land in the exact spot, but it's pretty close. So it landed itself, it killed the motors. Now, when it comes back from a Failsafe like that, and what I've done here is this switch that was your Failsafe, come down here and notice this LED. You notice it's green blinking right now. That's in GPS. Middle position again is attitude, and you'll see the orange. Now watch this, Failsafe, right there. That's what it did. To go back, flick that off. Now we're back in GPS mode. Now we can start the motors. Now we can take off again. So again, starting your motors is pushing your sticks to the inner bottom corners, giving it gas, and it won't actually go until about 50%. So, and then you lower it down, and then it'll kill the throttle. So that's all set up for you, and that's kind of how that works. So, Cliff, I really hope you enjoy your video. It flies like a dream. And if you have any questions, just let us know. Thanks. Cliff, we've got your X450 here with your Fat Shark goggles, your FPV monitor, and your Trinity 9X. What we're going to do is we're going to do a quick introduction to your bird, and I'm going to start with your transmitter, show you some of the features and the switches and the setup, and let's jump right into it. Alright, let's start out with your flight mode switch. It's the one coded in green. Up in the top position, default, it starts out in GPS mode. That's the mode you want to start in to have the most control. It will hold itself in place in the air. If you let go of the sticks, it'll hover. That's GPS mode. If you move it into the middle position there, that's attitude mode. So it won't hold its position in the air, but it'll still feel like, you know, you have some control over it, but it's going to be more sporty. All the way down is manual mode, and that's going to require constant stick input from you to control the quad at all times. So it's more of an expert mode, we like to call it. So we'll put that back. It's going to, again, start out in GPS mode. Your yellow switch right back here is your failsafe. So regardless of which mode you're in, you can flick this failsafe forward. It's going to give you a return to home feature. So it will come back to where it started, land, and shut off the motors for you. Alright, so, and as far as your gimbal control, that's going to be this one right here. Rotating this clockwise and counterclockwise will make your gimbal back there tilt up and down. So that's kind of the feature for that. That's how you'll control that. So great. Let's take another look at the quad. Alright, so you can see we've got your gimbal here, and I just put a rubber band on there to hold this up. Otherwise, it normally lays naturally off to the side, but I wanted to keep this upright to kind of show you this. So we put some rubber band on there just to hold it. So how this works is when you get this, you're going to undo these two screws right here, in the back and in the front here, and pull this ring off and put it around the lens of your GoPro. And then you're going to put those screws back in. But before you set it in there, you're going to want to plug this into your live video out of your GoPro. So plug this into your GoPro and then seat it into the gimbal. Okay? And so your gimbal is automatically going to plug in right back here. This is it, and this is an auxiliary port. So you'll plug that in. So it'll come to you plugged in. So when you plug in your quad, that's going to power up your gimbal automatically. Now if you want to fly without your gimbal, again, just unplug this from the auxiliary cord and you're good to go. Now let's take a look at your blade setup here. So your blades right here are going to be off when you receive it. So the way to put those on is you're going to look for the blade that says 1038R. The R blade will go on your front left arm. So front left is a right rotation, or clockwise, if you will. So its diagonal counterpart is also clockwise. So both of these are going to have the blade with the R on them. Then the other ones just say 1038, and these are counterclockwise rotation. That's this one and its diagonal counterpart back here. Your GPS antenna is mounted right here, and you want to make sure that this front part where the cord comes out, there's an arrow and it's pointing directly forward. So that's counterclockwise on this one, and diagonally is counterclockwise back there. And again, you want to make sure your GPS compass is always pointing directly forward with the front of the craft. Now the other thing I want to mention here is your FPV battery setup. Underneath here you can see this small little blue battery. Now the white balance lead coming out of that battery is going to plug directly into this right here. This powers the video transmitter for your Fat Shark goggles, which is right there with the antenna coming off of it. Okay, so the power source for that is right here. So plug that little balance lead from the battery right into here, and then you're going to get power to that video transmitter. Once your GoPro's in here with this cable connected, just simply turn on your GoPro. Then for your goggles setup, all you're going to need to do, make sure that this antenna is attached as well as the other one. This will plug into the side of your goggles. So now all of a sudden you will have the image from your GoPro on your goggles because you plugged in the video transmitter right here, which powers the ability to get that image to your goggles. So that's how you're going to work the goggles. Now if you want to work your FPV screen back here, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the video out in your goggles. It comes with a supplied cord. You're going to video out to this right here for your monitor. Okay, there's a 3-cell LiPo in there inside of this pack that you'll just plug in. You plug the Fat Sharks into here and turn it on, and then you're going to have the image that you see there that you have from your Fat Shark will also be on your screen. Now your IOSD is going to display all of that flight information on your goggles and your monitor over there. So that's a pretty cool setup. That has been your quad setup. One quick note about the batteries. Your battery is fully charged when it's at 16.8 volts, and you'll notice that readout on your charger. Now each cell needs to be a maximum of 5.2 volts per cell, but you don't want to let it drop below 3.2 volts per cell. So if your readout says 13 volts overall for all of your cells, then you don't want it to drop any lower than that. You want it to charge. You want to charge it at that point. So 16.8 is fully charged. Anything below 3 or 13 or 3.2 per cell will damage the battery permanently. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. But everything's ready to rock for you. So Cliff, if you have any other questions, just let us know. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks.